depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. What's your weakness? What's your type? Somehow I wanna know all about you. Deep connection lights a spark. You already know me when we dance in the dark. We're dreamers. We're living like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, we come alive. We come alive. Oh, we come alive. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We can see you want me by the look in your eyes. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive in the nighttime. Something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, 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 we come alive. Yeah. We come alive. Oh, 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 we come alive. We come alive.
There we go. Hey everybody, hope you guys are all having a good day. I moved my desk around a little bit today, so you guys can't see my TV, but you guys can see a painting that is not 100% straight according to my wall. Let me see if I do this. Looks a little bit better, but there we go. Happy Friday though. Babyfish just says right on time it's dumping. I was actually just looking at the chart before I went live, and I was like, oh geez, yeah, we could definitely have a bad weekend here, guys. So we'll talk about some general technical analysis, and we'll go over some news, and then we'll just kind of chill for a little bit. I do think there's some pretty interesting stuff going on here today. Overall, the Nasdaq's kind of gone into consolidation mode. The Nasdaq may actually have a green week next week, which may be good for the Nasdaq, but right now that's not going to be of much help to Bitcoin. There's a good chance over this weekend that we come back into contact with this trend line to either bounce or more likely just break down and start heading back down here to the next Fibonacci level of 28,748. And then eventually, if we do break these higher lows right here, low, let me see if I can show you. There you go. The low, higher low. If we break below this one right here, then there's a chance that we really start taking a dump. My mom just got back, it looks like, and Loki wants to really play, but it's work time for me. He'll go see her after the stream. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can see her in a little bit. There you go. But that's something I'm keeping track of. And, you know, I talked about this in the crypto update I gave you guys this morning. I was looking at this chart right here with the Bitcoin to Tether versus the Bitcoin to USD chart. And from what I can see right now, it really does look like the Bitcoin to USD chart is not the best one to be using right now in this particular time. Because according to this one, we've already broken down, or we're breaking down here today, and on the 4 hour we broke down here a while ago. So I still think this is kind of a bad sign, but I don't think it's necessarily as bad as if we break down below, if I can find it right here, as bad as if we break down below this level right here. I think right now we're just taking little baby steps to try to get back down here. That way shorts can really try to slap us down, which may be a good buying opportunity or a good shorting opportunity if you guys want to take it. All right, there we go. Now, a few other things. I think the reason that we've consolidated for so long, let me actually do this right here. We've been consolidating for about 23 days now. It's been a while. Loki, Loki. He really wants to go upstairs, but he'll see him in a second. I can see your tail wagging. Yeah. I don't got your treats over here. Your treats are on the sofa. But yeah, I'm really concerned that we're going to break down below this trend line, and that could start another big move here over the next few days. Bro, I'm going to push your head down. There you go. He has a lot of energy today. All right, but that's what I'm concerned about. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about before, I think the reason we've been consolidating so long is particularly because of this 2-to-1 Ganfan level. We've already broken down below this, what is this, 4-to-1 Ganfan level right here, this hot pink line. I think that is a pretty bearish sign. We'll have to see if breaking down below that will make us continue this move here, or if we might go into some type of effect where we get kind of choppy here, like what we did back over here in early January. Although I would say things look a little bit more bearish. But according to this Binance chart, we have a day and 23 hours left until we actually close here. So we might even have 10 red weeks in a row, or maybe we might break that streak and just have one green week, which will give us an opportunity here. Not the greatest opportunity, but an opportunity nonetheless for you guys that want to be more long on Bitcoin for us to really have a little more of a rally before ultimately breaking back down again. All right. And that's going to be because people may believe that the NASDAQ, look at the NASDAQ right now. It's still consolidating over a level of resistance. It broke out above this level right here. Popped up, and it's been doing okay ever since then. There's a chance that it might be going back up a little bit more. This is the daily chart now. Yeah, might be going back up to the 50-day moving average. We'll have to wait and see, but right now the market does look a little bit iffy, and I'm not entirely sure if this bear market rally that we're experiencing right now will be anything like this bear market rally we saw back over here in mid-early March. All right, and one other thing, we don't have to worry about any of these levels of resistance right now. There's one more though here. We're still pretty far away from any Fibonacci circle support levels. My golden buying zone is probably going to be somewhere down here unless the economy really starts taking a turn, in which case we might be looking at a pivot point around like $14,000, $15,000, or maybe just kind of right around here at about $18,000, $16,000. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm hoping that the Federal Reserve can fix the economy before we start having to worry about Bitcoin going down to that low level. Good for us that want to buy. Bad for everybody that's holding us, and you just see the redness on your screens, and it looks very abysmal, right? All right. So what I'll do right now is I'll probably put this on the 1 minute chart here, and let's talk a little bit about some news going on, because I do think it's pretty interesting to talk about what's happening in specific companies around crypto and some of the news that's been coming out today. So the first thing right here is, here we go. So New York just passed a bill cracking down on Bitcoin mining. Here's everything that's in it. I'm going to kind of sum it up to you guys in a little bit here, but I'll read a little bit of this as well. Because New York's starting to get a little bit more iffy about do they want these type of crypto jobs or not. It's kind of interesting. Mining jobs. Following an early morning vote in Albany on Friday, lawmakers in New York passed a bill to ban certain Bitcoin mining operations that run on carbon-based power sources. The measure now heads to the desk of Governor Kathy Hochul, who could sign it into law or veto it. If Hochul signs the bill, it would make New York the first state in the country to ban blockchain technology infrastructure, according to Priyan Boring, founder and president of the Chamber of Digital Commerce. Industry insiders also tell CNBC that it could have a domino effect across the United States, which is currently at the forefront of the global Bitcoin mining industry. So what exactly does this do here? Basically, what that law does is it tries to force mining companies to use 100% renewable energy for their mining operations. And if you guys from what I understand, the New York power grid is not 100% sustainable, and all of them are connected to that power grid. So what's going to happen here over the next couple of years is, because they can't meet that demand, or most of them don't even want to try to meet that demand because it's kind of ludicrous to make 100% sustainable energy usage for their mining products. They're either, what was I going to say there? Well, first things first. A lot of them are going to not be able to do their permits. Not going to be able to re-up their permits. They're going to be forced to either try to find some really expensive way to fix this, or they're simply just going to pack up, get out of New York, and move over to a Texas, a Florida, somewhere that's a little bit more crypto friendly. Right now, New York is putting it, having a stance of being anti-crypto, and I'm not entirely sure why they're doing it right now. I think Wall Street has a little bit of fault there, but at the same time, guys, we've talked about this a few times as far as some of these major banks. They are hiring people that that have a background in the crypto field, blockchain technology, etc. So I'm a little concerned that they've been doing that, but that wasn't a good sign for crypto today. It didn't cause any crash or anything like that. We saw what happened when China did it as well. It can be used for FUD every now and again, but I don't think it's going to be a massive move down. And I think at the end of the day, if it does start to domino across the rest of the country, I think it's going to be more of a red state, blue state type of thing. So where blue states try to go with more anti-crypto laws because of green energy, and then red states say, hey, we'll take the jobs, we'll take the energy, because I was reading that article and I was looking at some of the stuff because they tried to pass it last year. The energy unions love the Bitcoin miners because they provide a lot of jobs. And now if they don't have those jobs, they're going to, it's going to be a little bit more, not as difficult, but more difficult to find good work, in that type of field. All right. But hey, Monica, hey, watching, hey, Mirth, and hey, Jane, hey, Etrev. I'm just here looking for the bottom. Oh, gosh, it's going to be a while before I hit that. At least I think it is, right? But hope you guys are all having a good Friday. It's a pretty chill night, guys. I'm not too concerned about anything going on. It's been a quiet, for the most part, pretty quiet day. All right, there we go. And the next story here is kind of a combo with Coinbase and Gemini. Both of them are starting to cut staff, which I think is pretty interesting. So, Winklevoss twins, Gemini cutting 10% of its staff, saying crypto winter is here. Um, I'm always surprised that these companies don't understand Bitcoin cycles. I feel like these companies need technical analysis guys or nerds that understand how to read charts or just basic kind of common sense of Bitcoin cycle to help these guys understand, hey, maybe you guys don't want to be spending as much money after Bitcoin reaches an all-time high. Maybe you guys want to get everything prepped up so you guys can make as much money during the Bitcoin runs like all of us do. And then when things get slower, you scale back on the workforce as needed, right? And you can have seasonal people, I don't know. But it just seems kind of weird. And the same thing for Coinbase, except for Coinbase has a little bit more of a, more ruthless here, if you ask me. So here, 2 weeks after announcing plans to slow hiring, crypto exchange Coinbase now says it will freeze. The freeze will extend into the foreseeable future. The company will also be pulling some accepted job offers. So imagine that you got a job offer from Coinbase. Now what they're saying is, yeah, we know we gave you an offer, but we no longer actually need you for this job because we're not hiring anybody anymore. Just imagine that. Just imagine you got a call saying you get to work for Coinbase, and then you're like, yeah, we actually don't need you after all. We made you that 6-figure offer with full benefits, but we just can't do it. I'm sorry. It's kind of messed up. Messed up, but that kind of shows the peril that Coinbase is in right now. They are really trying to conserve their cash flow, probably because they know they have earnings coming up again in Q3, and they do not want to be hit hard again because Coinbase's market cap could definitely take another hit down. Coinbase's market cap is so big it can definitely come down more. And hey, Zecker, it sounds like a scare tactic to drop crypto prices for banks to pick up. It might be a bit of a tinfoil because of bank fraud. Yeah, I mean, they've been trying to do this for the past few years now. They put out a whole bunch of negative stories at one time, and then they just try to bring the market down so they can buy back more for the long term, or just try to do some cool day trades as well. Right? We just saw what happened to UST. That was a coordinated attack. So, and there was no repercussions. All the company says we didn't do it. And that was that. You notice nobody's looking into it. Nobody's investing in it. It just kind of went away. It's interesting things, but the only thing that's really been talked about as far as Luna and UST is now there's probably going to be some lawsuits against Do Kwon, and that's about it. But nothing else bad happening as far as I know. And hey, Pinto, there is a mining company that has proprietary technology that is 15% more efficient compared to the rest of the miners. That's awesome. See, new technology, that's going to help out the market. And wherever those miners go once they leave New York, there's going to be a lot of new jobs there waiting for them, right? So, it's a better for each state to be friendly in the crypto field, because if people start to feel like, hey, New York is an anti-crypto state, which it's been giving off that vibe for, I don't know, probably about a year now, it is going to make it harder and harder and harder for people to say, hey, I want to start my new Bitcoin business in New York. I would probably try to do it in Florida to save on taxes, more of a Bitcoin-friendly environment. Maybe Texas, maybe even California. Although California has some, people don't like to pay that high of taxes for California anymore, since it's not as, the talent isn't as local. I don't know what you want to call it. Talent is spread out everywhere. It's not as focused as it once was. Silicon Valley used to be the place. Now now all those people work everywhere. Hey, good evening, Bideford. Hope you had a very, very good day. Been listening to a whole bunch of historical bank fraud stuff, so my mind is on a red flag alert. Banks are always going to do fraud. Just think about Wells Fargo. How many times has Wells Fargo been in trouble over the past few years? They're still a bank. They still have tons of customers. People aren't concerned about it for the most part. But Wells Fargo is a pretty bad bank, right? So as far as breaking the law and stuff like that, I don't think they steal from the customers. But maybe they can steal from your credit reports when they try to make fake accounts for people. But yeah, some really crazy stuff going on over there. But yeah, we'll have to see how bad the fraud gets this cycle. But remember, guys, all we're looking for right now. Let me just go back over to this chart. Is it this chart? Yeah. I can, yeah, we can use this one. Let's go to the pointer. All I'm really looking for right now is that Bitcoin continue its move down over the next month or two, and we come into contact with the 200 weekly moving average, and then from there, I have an opportunity to buy. I'll be very happy once I have the opportunity. I've already been buying up a little bit, but I'm really saving the majority of my cash for when we get a little bit lower, of course. Let me see. But we're pretty far away from these levels of resistance that we've been talking about for the past few months. So if we want to go all the way down to this Fibonacci level, that's Bitcoin going down about 28%. Going down to the 200 weekly moving average is Bitcoin going down about 25%. And just to break down below this Ganfan circle right here, seeing this Fibonacci circle, we would have to go down about 15% or so. Which could happen over a period of a week, I guess, if things get really, really bad. But I don't think we're going to have a dump like this for a while, just because of how that coordinated attack on UST and how it forced Luna to sell off billions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. I don't see something like this happening for a while. I think we may just have a little bit more of a grinding move down, maybe a crash here or there, maybe 4 or 5% down days like we did before, but nothing as catastrophic as when Bitcoin, at one point was down 25% in a week. That's a pretty crazy thing if you ask me. All right, let me go back over here to the... Oh, actually, we don't need this. We can go to the hour chart here, leave this alone, and I'll X out of that. No resistance there, no resistance there. We're pretty good, guys. And as far as I'm concerned with the NASDAQ can definitely go higher next week, so the stock market can definitely continue this rally. It's just going to be a big thing to see if we can get some better economic news. The economic news as far as the jobs report was actually okay today, but there were some other factors that had people worried, and that's why you saw the sudden drop. So not everything was all rosy. You kind of want to see the job market a little bit slower, because if the job market is too hot, then people have to keep on raising the pay to attract the workers. That's raising inflation as well, because they have to pass on those costs to the consumer. Anything there? No. Yeah, but the one thing right now, guys, oops, did I just draw that? I did just draw that. And to me, the biggest support level I'm looking at right now is this 2-to-1 Ganfan level that we've been watching, or that's been here since 2015. We've never broken down below it on the weekly chart. We may break down below it here the next couple weeks, maybe even this week if we have another big dump. We've closed down below on the daily, but never the weekly. And if we do close down below this on the weekly here, I'm concerned that we actually, may fall well down below the lows of last week, which are around 27,877. We might be going back down to 27,000 and possibly down to $26,000 from there. But before I can even talk about that, we have to try to stay above this line here. And you can see I actually broke down right here, got a little bit of a jolt. Same thing happened back during COVID. But overall, week to week, we've never actually broken down below this line. So, there's a first time for everything, but right now, yuck. And hey, Jen, a long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're making some money, and hope you're buying up some Bitcoin or crypto for the long term right here. This is not the best time to be buying it, but over time when it goes lower, it'll be better. And hey, Monica, I sold my Nvidia calls early in light of what happened today. I'm considering getting back in and buy calls Monday. What do you think? As far as Nvidia is concerned, let me just open it up here on the NASDAQ chart. I think this will probably be the best one to do. No, where is that? YouTube breakouts. Okay. Let's go to a 4-hour chart here. Let's go to regular trading now. So we talked about how that we were having some trouble with this one right here. What I can see right now going for the Nvidia is I would like to buy it if it comes back a little bit lower on Monday. Maybe that'd be an opportunity there. I got stopped out of the rest of my Nvidia call, so I'm all out of the play as well. I got stopped out this morning. So I'm optimistic the NASDAQ can continue to go higher next week. I'm not going to be putting as much money as I did this first time around if I'm doing that. This was a nice breakout by Nvidia. Solid breakout, came up here, hit resistance at the 0.382 Fibonacci level, got rejected back down pretty hard, and we'll have to wait to see if it can consolidate a little bit more and have another big surge coming up. I would like to see that, but I'm not going to be putting as much money behind that like I did the first time around. But I think it'd be fine. We're looking for a golden cross on the 4-hour chart here pretty soon. That could be a nice move. On the daily chart here, we've already broken above the 20-day moving average, coming closer and closer to the 50-day. That there's an opportunity there as well. I think what's going on right now is you see a lot of stocks, a lot of NASDAQ stocks. The 50 and the 20-day moving averages are getting closer and closer. That's giving people a little bit of hope that we could have a little bit more of a pop rally, something like this, where it doesn't really change the fact that we're in a bear market, but at least it gives us a little bit of opportunity, like, hey, maybe we can actually go a little bit higher throughout this period of time, and then ultimately we will get knocked back down, but, that's just the way the world works. There would be money to be made in that move, and if we're doing something similar, we're probably only right here, or maybe right here, or maybe just right here, actually, of this overall move. So not much more upside left, in my opinion, but definitely some upside if you did want to buy some calls. I just wouldn't be going as heavy as I did during this initial breakout that we were watching. There you go. Gosh, my voice is so, my throat sore. Throat sore? Yeah, over talking. Oh, there we go. All right. Mike, do you think it's going to drop even lower? Yeah, so right now, let's go back a little bit here. As we're watching Bitcoin go down right now, what's the best way to do this? Let's just go over here and let's just open up a Bitcoin chart without any of the moving averages and stuff. Or we can have moving averages. This is a daily, weekly. Yeah, that's okay. So basically, we're in a kind of one of these, you can call it a crypto winter, a bear market, whatever. But there's a few characteristics of how we're here in the first place. The first reason, from a technical standpoint, is we had this death cross right here. Usually after having a death cross on the weekly charts, we tend to have some really bad times. I'll just say really bad times. And that's when the 20-week moving average crosses down below the 50-week moving average. Happen right here, bad time. Happen right here, bad time. Happen right here, okay time, then bad time, right? And then, of course, if you want to go all the way back over here to 2014, happened right here, and then proceeded to be a very, very bad time. All right, so the other characteristic of what's going on here is the fact that we broke down below the 20-month moving average. We talked about this a few months, like the day we closed, the day after we closed down below this in the monthly charts, I was warning you guys, hey, we're going to have a wick and then we're going to crash. And then, we just had a really bad move. The crash was worse than I expected, primarily because of the UST Luna fiasco, but overall, pretty bad crash. Knocking over stuff here for my microphone. There we go. Well, I thought there we go. There we go. All right. So, broke down here, bad. Broke down here, bad. COVID was a special situation, but it still had that bad move of coming down below the 20-month moving average. Over here in 2014, again, breaking down leads to a bad time. Sometimes we go more sideways, then drop. Other times we just drop and then we consolidate to come back up here. Or sometimes like COVID, where it's just a big flash crash, we just have more of a recovery. It seems like right now we're doing something more like this. Maybe something like this if we have a decent month this month. But, as I just zoom out here, the chart just look like it wants to continue moving down this month. There was an opportunity for us to have a green month. There still is an opportunity, but the longer this month goes on, and it's only the 3rd, so bear with me, we've already seemed like we're coming down here quite a bit, and that is concerning if you're trying to long at this point in time, because if you buy right now, you could possibly buy at a cheaper price in the near future. Right now, I've been buying every day, but that's because we've been trading off of a couple different things here. So let me go MA. And let's add also an EMA in here as well. All right, there we go. And let's add this one. I think we had it as, hot pink. That's the color. So we're going to add a 100-week EMA or 100-week MA here. Oh, this is a monthly chart. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then we also want to add, for the EMA, we want to add a 200. And we want this line to be orange and thick. And there we go. Okay. So don't worry about the orange line just yet because it's a monthly chart. But we've never come into contact with the 100-month moving average. So that's kind of interesting to be looking at as well. But let's go back over to the weekly chart now. Historically, Jen, we tend to come back down to the 200 weekly moving average here. We tend to bounce right off of it. We actually came really down low, but that's COVID. And then back over here in 2014, we came down below just a little bit just a little bit, and then anytime actually buying below the 200 weekly moving average is usually a really good time to buy when you're looking back at it in hindsight, right? If you bought Bitcoin on this cycle at the 200 weekly moving average or below it, just like right here, you could have made like 6,000%. And this one over here, you bought the 200 moving average. Yes, like 236%. And over here, you buy around the 200 weekly moving average. You're looking at about 950%, almost 1,000% there. Now, the golden realm of when you guys could be thinking about buying Bitcoin, in my opinion, is in between the 200 weekly EMA, the exponential moving average, but above the 200 weekly SMA. That always seems to be a golden opportunity, whether it's here or here. Not as much of a golden opportunity in 2014 and 15, but I think we're going to see something more like this happen or this happen, and not so much where we're just here for extended periods of time with these high volatility moments like this here, at least. So if we go over here, take a look at the daily chart. And let's make this go into, let's go to week. This is a daily chart, but we're changing some of the stats to go to the day, to be on the weekly. So let's go over here, 200, and let's go to the weekly. Is this gonna work? Weekly, there you go. Okay, it's gonna work. Okay, sweet. And there you go. Okay. Once we manage to break back out above the 200 EMA after consolidating for a while, we have to consolidate for a while. Not the first big, relief rally after crashing. We popped right there, and then we went boom. And COVID, we consolidated for a little bit of time, got here. We had to kind of worry a little bit, wait a little bit, but eventually we did end up coming back up, and that's a really good sign. Currently, we are very, very close to breaking back down below the 200 EMA, and I think once we break down below this, we're going to stay down below it for a while here, possibly a couple weeks or so, a few weeks, maybe even a couple months, depending on how bad the economy gets. And that's really the big thing here. Once we start breaking down below this, this is that really golden opportunity where everybody's always having a bunch of fun. Do I have a square here? Yeah, there we go. Kind of that golden buy zone right here. Now, we'll see what happens here over the next few weeks, but this is why I want to start buying up larger positions of Bitcoin, larger positions of altcoins, etc. And then what I'm also doing, because I'm also a little bit afraid that the Federal Reserve might not actually be able to curb inflation pretty fast or fast enough. So I think, if the Fed can't fix inflation, they're going to have to keep on increasing rates, and they're going to have to not care that the market is tanking. If they don't care that the market's going to tank, well, guess what? The market's going to throw the biggest fit ever, and it's just going to go down, 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 as everybody freaks the freak out. Which is fine, because that gives us a really good buying opportunity. Just because Apple might crash, Microsoft might crash, Amazon might crash because of bad market conditions, does not mean they're not going to be crazy strong buys, while they're crashing for the long term, of course. So what I'm hoping for here, my concern here is, because of that, is that since this might be Bitcoin's first, if we go into a recession, this officially would be Bitcoin's first recession ever. Right, at least in the United States. And so instead of coming back down here and bouncing off of the 200 weekly moving averages like we did back in the past, there is still a small chance that we actually break down below the 200 and have a breakdown where the 20-week moving average actually crashes down below the 200 weekly moving average, causing a death cross that we have never seen before. And so that might lead Bitcoin back down to maybe the $14,000, $16,000, $18,000, $20,000 level. Now, $14,000 kind of out of there, $16,000 more realistic, but I could see a flash crash wick. I could definitely see us going down to 14,000 if something really, really bad happens. Now, do I expect that to happen right now? No. Inflation, we'll have to wait to see what happens this month. I'm hoping the inflation got a little bit better. That'd be really good news for the market. Like Bitcoin for the past few year or so has been following the NASDAQ. And that's kind of good and bad. So when the NASDAQ's going up, Bitcoin is going awesome. But when the NASDAQ is going down, you really do start to see the problems here since Bitcoin has been correlated to it. So let me pump up the NASI over here. There you go. All right. So here's the NASDAQ. Let me remove all the drawings. They're not too important here, to be honest. There you go. Here's the NASDAQ, and here's the 200 daily moving average. We actually care about the 200 weekly moving average right here. So we're, from a percentage standpoint, we are about 14% away from that 200 weekly moving average. So we're not in any immediate danger right now. For that to fall down 14%, it would have to be like day after day after day of just really abysmal red candles on, red markets. It would probably happen over a couple month period of time. But I think if we start breaking down here to the 200 weekly moving average, the NASDAQ would be coming down about 13%. And a Bitcoin, if that were to happen here as well, if I can find it right here, that means Bitcoin would also be breaking down to about another 25% down as well, which is kind of realistic. Well, when the NASDAQ goes down a little bit, Bitcoin's usually going down a lot more. It's kind of similar to how altcoins go down a lot more when Bitcoin's going down. So for like maybe every point that the NASDAQ goes down, Bitcoin's going down 3%. But every percent that Bitcoin's going down, an altcoin might be going down like 4 or 5%, right? So it gets pretty scary like that. But my concern here is, like I said, to wrap everything up, I thought I was wrapping everything up, is that if we do break down below this level because there's been some really bad market conditions, maybe inflation gets just so bad that people really can't buy the essential goods they need, or maybe this famine that could be coming out of Ukraine because they no longer can ship their grain. Well, what that could do is that could cause us to break down below the yellow line, the 200 weekly moving average, and that usually that's only happened a couple times, right? The dot-com bubble over here, pretty nasty move down. I don't think we're going to be that bad, but the financial crisis of 2008 with the real estate market bubble, right? And big move down there as well. So we got to hope that we're not going to see anything like this bad or this bad, because if that were the case, let's say that the NASDAQ, during this drop, the NASDAQ came down 40%. During this drop, the NASDAQ came 64%, 65%. Let's just say the NASDAQ, let's not even go to the 40%. Let's just say the NASDAQ went down, what did I say, 40, let's say, just say 25%, 25% below the 200 weekly moving average. If that was the case, let's say we broke above it, came below it like here. So 25%, that means the NASDAQ would go down to about $8,300. But at the same time, what that would mean for Bitcoin is, if the Nasdaq's going down, what did I say, 20%, 25%, you could see Bitcoin go down about 50% from the price here. Now, I don't think that's going to happen because that would be just crazy. But then you can start to see how bad Bitcoin's price could really get if the Nasdaq really does have a bad time. We would hope that sometime in this bearish market that we're currently experiencing, we would find a way, or the powers that be would find a way to get Bitcoin to stop correlating with the NASDAQ before a potential breakdown of a 200 weekly moving average. And this occurred, death cross here with the 20 to 100, death cross with the 50 to 200 here as well, 2050 here. We haven't had a death cross yet. If we were going to have a death cross, it would take weeks. And I mean, like, this would be happening towards the end of the year, and that gives us a little bit of room to have a little bit more of a recovery before then. But here, let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. Let's see, we kind of follow the same projection here. Kind of same projection. Same projection. It's about right there. Let's go over here. Oh, that wasn't my best work right there. Drawing down, sure, but using a mouse, there you go. Sure. That point of contact, if we kind of went this similar pattern, would all be in October. So that'd be a long time ago. That'd be a long time away. But in that process, usually we're breaking down, or we're having those death crosses following the big move. So you see the big move happened here. The death cross and it happened for a while. Big move here. The death cross and it happened for a while afterwards. And same for the second one. Big move happened after that as well. So, we might see, if we do see a really bad move in the market, it might not be until maybe end of July, August, September, maybe around there. Don't quote me on that because I'm not entirely sure. I just drew lines on the chart, for heaven's sakes. But, as I'm trying to eyeball it, it's basically an eyeball, a guesstimate. I think if we do have a bad move as far as the stock market's concerned, like a really, really bad one, it might happen towards the summertime. Ironically, kind of right before a major election season where everybody's saying democracy is on the line. So you may start to see some really bad stuff happen there. I'll try to figure out if I can find any good software to help me out with this one as well. I know I have that algorithm. I don't use it on the NASDAQ, though, too much. Let's go to Vital Algo. Let's open this up very fast. This may help us out here. Let's go to supply and demand zones, dark pool institutional interest, and dynamic reactors. We don't need the trend lines right now. We don't need to have signals going on right now. I don't think. I don't. Yeah, I don't want sell, and I want to have style. Oh god, there's always so much. Oh, there. Okay, it fixed itself. Support resistance method. Predictive support resistance. There we go. All right. And you can see we have some support around $9,600. That could also be happening right here. We didn't really, we found support there for like maybe a week. Now it's a little bit of resistance for us. Um, Depends on how bad we're going to get, but I don't even think we have I never think we're going to come down this low. I don't think the economy is going to crash that much. At least I don't hope it does. But I could definitely see us coming back down here to like $9,000, $10,000 for the NASDAQ. And then that's like another 20% or so. Or maybe if things get really, really bad, maybe to 7,600 or so. Let's hope the Federal Reserve knows what they're doing. Because, when you always zoom out at some of these charts, you really realize how fast the market has grown and how usually, we only have so much data to work with here. There was a big move down, then we had an okay time, then we started roaring again. If we have another big move down because we've just had such a crazy run up, that will lead to a lot of problems, not just for the United States, but for the whole freaking world, right? If all the stocks start crashing like, more than 25%, let's say we had another bubble, so to speak, where from high to low we went down 82%, 82% from the high we saw over here would be like coming back down to 3,000, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see our economy being that bad or that much fluff money being tossed into the market. Hopefully, I'm not wrong about that. Hopefully, I'm not wrong about that. And you guys can see so far, Bitcoin starting off pretty poor to this Friday day candle here. And hey, Hector the Dude, happy to see you back as well. And hey, Ken, hope you're doing well. Let's see. And hey, Jen, the only coins I'm buying over the next few weeks are usually coins that I'm buying for the long term, and they're usually coins I'm not putting too much money behind because I'm saving the bulk of my cash for when Bitcoin eventually goes back down to that 200 weekly moving average. Some coins I've been looking at are like the metaverse coins like Mana, Sand, stuff like that. UFO coins been kind of nice. GB. I've also been looking at coins like STMX, BGB, the Voyager coin, the Coup coin, stuff like that. Those are some of the coins I've been looking at over the past few weeks, and I've been buying a little bit of them up every single day. A little bit here, a little bit there. They're all long-term holds. I'm not buying anything for short-term moves too much right now that I don't tell you guys I'm doing in the stream itself. What's right here? And hey, Michael, Green Week barely hanging in there. I know we got like a day and 20-something hours left. If we can finally have a Green Week, that would make people really happy. And that might even give us a nice little following Green Week if the NASDAQ can also help us out there as well. Let's see. And hey, Crypto, you have less scalping? Yeah, scalping is probably a good thing to be doing right now. It can be pretty fun, especially if you can buy off of some of these Fibonacci levels right here. Nice, easy little scalps where you're just in the market for a few hours at most. In the event of a bad market crash and long recession, what do you see marijuana stocks or the legal industry as a whole? Marijuana stocks would probably go to like new lows, pretty much like really, really bad areas. And then from there, I could see them being good buying opportunities. I would really the ones with the highest market cap, the more stable ones, are something I'd be looking to buy more of. But I think weed would still be sold. I think people, I don't think you can get addicted to weed, but I do think people have addictions to the feeling of weed. Not like a coke, druggy stuff. I'm not gonna say because I don't know if YouTube will let me say it. But not like really, really hard stuff. But I do think people like weed enough. It's enough of a thing where they can, they would still use it in a recession, even if they were kind of brokish. You might see a lot of weed shops close, but I still think there'd be a large industry built around it. The ones that aren't as profitable, the ones that have bad service, that sell really crappy weed, we all know who those ones are. Those ones would probably be the first to close. Everything else that has a pretty good standard, has a good customer base, they would survive. Maybe some staff cuts, but that's normal during a recession, right? And hey, Hector the Dude again. I should get some beer. That's why I really need some beer. The NASDAQ keeps 25 tonight. Was a little okay bouncy. Oh, yeah, definitely. And hey, Jen, do I think we should continue to buy stable coins such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, or can we invest in certain altcoins? Yeah, you can invest in all types of coins. I'm just telling you right now, if you want to be investing in altcoins during this nasty bear market, you want to be spending some time checking out the utility of those coins, making sure they actually have a goal. That way, you know they're going to survive. There are so many coins that die off in every crypto winter, and it looks like right now, because of the economy around the world, not just in America, we're pretty much heading for a crypto winter. Not a multi-year one, but probably just for about a quarter or two. The war in Ukraine really put a damper on it, and then on top of that, inflation really kicked everybody in the butt, because all the money that everybody had sloshing around in their accounts, now they're a little bit more tight with it, right? I'm not going to be opening up my wallet and putting all my money into crypto if I'm only making like $50,000, $60,000 a year, because all of a sudden all my bills went up even more. So, crypto, the economy is not in bad shape. The government keeps on saying the economy is good. It's not. And I think, I know politicians have to spend stuff, but at a certain point, it's very hard to spend the fact that, gas is like at $5 where I live right now in Washington State, and around the country, gas is like, I think, an average of like $4.50 or something like that, $4.60. So, it's not looking good, and we no longer have all the free stimulus money that we had from the bills that what's that last bill that we got in last January? I don't remember what it was. But we basically got a whole bunch of free money. I wasn't eligible, unfortunately, but I wish I was. So, you're not going to have all that influx of cash just pumping up crypto left and right. You're just not going to have it right now. And Michael, it's not looking good for the Green Week. We got a day left. We got pretty much a day and a half left. We'll see what we can do. But no NASDAQ to kind of help us out or hurt us. It's going to be up to the whales at this point. We're officially still bearish, but there is an opportunity. As long as we can hold this line right here, there's an opportunity for us to continue to bounce up here and do okay. The crazy thing here is look at this daily chart, guys. Just look how unorthodox this looks. You guys have probably seen tons of charts in the past as well, but just look how out of place this big move up is, followed by this big move down. It just doesn't look like it's in a good spot, right? Normally, after a pretty solid move, we might take a dip, but then we'd start to consolidate and start moving back up higher if we really were in a good position. Well, what happened instead is you saw a lot of people over here, a lot of people on Twitter, the people I normally rant about, they were all saying, oh my God, this is the time to buy, this is the time to buy, this is the time to buy. When in reality, if you're buying, you were kind of buying around this low level once we started breaking the lower high right here. Lower high, we broke above this. You buy in anticipation of breaking above the 20-day moving average and hoping for a spike, right? Well, what happened is everybody fell for the same trap as always. There was an opportunity here to make some money. There was. But of course, if you go back just a little bit in time here, whenever we have these green days, we just seem to get slammed back down. Going even back down to the first quarter, we had some nice pumps, guys. Remember this? Nice pumps, crash. Nice pump, crash. A little bit of a pump, crash. Nice little pump, crash. So it just seems to be the cycle right now in this bear market. We've seen it for a while. I don't know if I can zoom in here anymore, but, all the way back over here in December, of course, we popped back up. Ooh, look at things looking good. Boom, came down. So, wish I could say it looked better, but this was just so unnatural. Somebody really doesn't want Bitcoin to be going up at this point, in time. Which, we don't have any power to stop them, frankly, right? We're just kind of these little bugs kind of topping on the Bitcoin train. We're here to make money. If the whales don't want us to make money for a while, we're not going to make money for a while. But at least that gives us more opportunity to be buying up for the long term. That way you guys can be making some good profit. Like, for example, that's not what I wanted. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that this next rally that we have, since it's not like a halving or anything really crazy, maybe we only go up about this. We don't go up to like a crazy run up. We just go something like this next time. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, you buy at the 200 weekly moving average, and you sell kind of around where things get choppy. So you have about 247% right there. Well, if we're down here for a little bit of time, let's go 247%, and let's say you've only been able to save up like $1,000 worth of crypto. Through that period, you'd only be making about a profit of $24.70. But, if we're down here for a few months because the economy is so bad, everything's looking really nasty and whatnot, blah, 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 well, then that gives you an extra, let's say you can add an extra $4,000 or $5,000. So let's just say you have $5,000. Well, now you're walking away with a profit of $12,000, right? So the more money you're able to put in this, you'll be fine. The only thing is you're not just going to be putting a mortgage on your house to buy crypto, of course. You're going to have to make sure that you can afford to put this money into crypto. So that's the trick going on right now. You got to pay your bills while you wait for crypto to kind of work itself out, because historically, in this circumstance, it took about 217 days for you to make some really good money off of it. In this circumstance, it took about 350 days, almost a year, to make some really good money out of it. And this run right here, depending on what you bought, probably let's just say in the middle sometime, you had about 133 days. And this one right here, much longer, but we're not going to see something like this, I don't think, for a while. But that was all the way up here, 847 days, years. Now I think we're more in this type of cycle now, but you're not going to have to wait an eternity. But a couple of years, maybe a year or 2 years, it is going to feel like eternity to you when you have to be waiting for it. But the good thing is, once we get this bear market, then you guys get to see, hey, wow, it's green. Every day is green. No matter what happens at a certain point, even if you have a big drop here or a drop here, you're still up a lot and you don't even care. Then you got to start worrying about where you actually want to scale out of your positions. And to do that, there's tons of tools out there. Some are better than others. Some are just kind of fun to use. Like here's the Fibonacci extension. If you use this one, you could have sold right here, 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 depending on what you guys wanted to do. Low resistance there. Sell at the one, which is the price target. Could have sold the orange up there, or maybe the purple. All of them work out pretty well for you. All of them are fine. You can even see this one was actually a level of support for us a little bit a while ago. But you can also use other ones here as well. Now you don't have to do this. This is just me having fun here. But maybe this one as well. You can see after this we had some resistance there. Had a little bit of resistance there. Not so much resistance here actually. Resistance there. No resistance here. Kind of popped up. Found a little bit of resistance there. A little bit of resistance there. And so forth, right? Now, once we figure out where the bottom is, and we'll figure out the bottom, in my opinion, once we manage to break back out about above that 200 EMA level like we do right here, pop, like we do right here, pop, and so forth. Whenever that happens, then I think it'll be a good opportunity to see where Bitcoin goes by either using this low, or something like that. So maybe something like this, and maybe something like, let's say we have a bottom of 18,000. Now look at that support, a little bit of resistance up here, a little bit of resistance over there. I don't know for a fact that we're stopping here. But then you can see maybe I can start selling up here at 117,000. Maybe I can start selling at 178,000 if things get really crazy one day, a couple of years from now. Who knows? $178,000 for Bitcoin in like 3 years. It's definitely possible after what we've been watching, right? So, you just got to put that kind of stuff in perspective. It just sucks to wait. It's the worst part, waiting. That's why you practice day trading. That's why I like to do options trading, because while we're kind of doing our own jam over here, I'm usually just doing a little bit of trading on these types of coins in particular. And then what I'm normally doing from my strategy is I actually put a lot of capital into the options markets. And then for every breakout during the market, I'm like, ooh, I'm buying calls. It's very, very easy. When you're in a bull market. When you're in a bearish market, it becomes a lot more difficult to actually make money trading options, right? I used to give you guys a whole bunch of options calls because I knew they were very easy. I knew you guys would be able to get in and out of them whenever you guys wanted to. You guys wouldn't have to worry about them so much. Now I'm a lot more careful with my options, and they're not as easy as they once were. I gave I gave the Sapphire and Diamond level members an options trade a few days ago. The position was down for 2 days before jumping up over 100%, right? So there was a lot more pain to be felt for your gains nowadays if you're going against the grain and you guys are going into a bull, you're trying to go buy calls in a bear market. Now, I've been trying to look at ways to buy, for you guys to open up puts, but what I've been noticing is because the market's been so volatile and news keeps on changing everything, if there is a traditional breakdown, which I like to short, a lot of times, even if it breaks down, if the index decides to pop off out of nowhere, that breakdown will mean absolutely squat, and it will kill the put, making it pretty much worthless, which kind of sucks. So I haven't been doing as many puts as I would want to. I'm hoping that the Nasdaq next week can actually have a little bit of a bounce week, continue to go up in this little bit of a bear market rally, perhaps hitting the 50-day moving average, and then there I might be willing to open up some puts to ride it back down. if we can have some really bad economic data on top of that. But I think pretty soon, next week or two, we should be getting the CPI data. We should be getting some more inflation data to see month over month and month over month data to see how bad things are really getting. Because at this moment in time, rents are still going up. Price of gas, average gas price. Oh, gosh, I don't know what this. Yeah, average gas price right now is, oh, why doesn't it just like 481 or something like that? That's pretty freaking abysmal. I just filled up my tank today. I don't even know how much it cost. I just usually do the card and run, but I know it's pretty darn bad. And again, it's not because gas is expensive. It's because the money you're forced to spend on gas to get to where you want to go. Now you're not going to be able to use that to contribute to the American economy. Now you have to worry about it going over to other stuff, basically. Am I gonna? Now I don't have enough money to go buy that new shirt at Target. Now I can't buy those new shorts at TJ Maxx, whatever it may be. And that does cause earnings reports to look very, very bad and negative, which causes some major moves down, like what we saw with Target. TGT, I think, is it now? I messed that up long enough so I can actually know what it is now. Here's Target's earnings report, and look what happened. Inflation's, it's a you-know-what. Got knocked down really hard because, they can no longer keep passing on all of those extra costs over to the consumer, and therefore their margins are shrinking. And if the margins are shrinking, they're not making as much profit. If they're not making as much profit, when they have to report their profits and earnings, it doesn't look nearly as good as what they said back over here when they said, yeah, things are going to be great. Things are going to be awesome. We're managing to work our way through this inflationary environment. Things aren't going to be as bad. Then you have a big pop, consolidate. Oh, yeah, things are looking really good. Hit an old Fibonacci level. It looks like get rejected off of that one. And then boom, oh no, inflation really does suck. So you can only get away from it so long. We had a lot of companies have similar moves saying that they passed the cost of inflation, the increased cost of the goods onto the consumer, and the market appreciated that and liked it. Well, now they can no longer do that, and the market's like, buy Felicia. That's basically what happened. Buy Felicia to all these stocks that can no longer make as much profit as they did just a few months ago. All right, back to Bitcoin. All right, here. And hey, Trev, we all know who those ones are. Yeah, exactly. And hey, Corinda, happy to see you back as well. And hey, Courtney, can I look at XVG? It's a coin. Isn't that Voyager's coin? I think it is. I don't know. Let me see. It's a coin I own. That's why I say it. Oh, Verge? Is this Verge? Do I own this one? I don't know if I own this one. Maybe. Okay. Let's see. A secure and user-friendly digital currency built for everyday transactions. Get started with Verge. Yeah. So it's help with payments. It's trying to be extra modern. That's nice. It's for Windows, Apple. Okay. Oh, this is actually nice. Open source too. I like this. I might actually buy some of this. I don't think I have any right now, but I think this would be something I would like to buy. I thought it was the Voyager coin, but I guess that's like VG something maybe. VXG. Who cares? But yeah, low market cap of 77 million. It's something I would like to buy under a penny. Of course, I like it already. So let me take a look at it right here as far as the charts are concerned. Let's get out of the 1 minute chart. Let's go over here to the daily. Is this all-time lows? No, that's good. That's really, really good. Let's hop on over here to the weekly chart. I'm not entirely sure if there's any more really good support levels left. Yeah, it bounced right off of it perfectly. Yowza. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Okay. So right now it looks pretty darn bearish. You could tell that we're just looking at the chart here. While Bitcoin's been having a somewhat green week, this one's definitely been having a more of a red week here. And looking to break down below the lows we sustained last week as well. So your next major level of support that I'm looking at right here is around 0.0036 for a drop of go about. Where's my measurement tool? There we go. about another 22%. So be careful with that. What I'd actually be looking for here is to go on the daily chart and see if I can add any type of another Fibonacci retracement here. If you're looking for something more short term, really, that's the highest point right there. That's not even that accurate. Yeah. So maybe that work. No, that doesn't work out as well. Yeah, so that doesn't even work for this one. Okay, but yeah. Thanks for subscribing, man. I really do appreciate it, day trading. Right now, it looks like it wants to break down here. Hopefully, it doesn't break down below the low of today, which is yesterday, 0.00456950. I know that's a mouthful. But as far as the long term, it looks fine to me. I would probably want to buy it a little bit more down here. Like, I know it's like a little bit more of a drop, but that's when I'd be more happy to buy it. It might take a little bit of time, but that's what I'd be looking for. And then on top of that, I might. Well, started pouring down rain outside. Sorry. I might even try to see if this works on it. Normally, I don't use some of the coins. Pivot. Nah, it's not going to be for a while. Pivoted right there. Not really much of a pivot there. Okay. I would try to focus on buying it about 20% less than where it is now. You also have some support there as well from the lows of 2000, from October of 2020. So not bad. How far has this fallen over the last few weeks? Popped right there. Death cross happened. Another death cross happened over there. Yeah, for a long term buy, I'd be more inclined to buy it around that 0.0035 level. But in the short term, I still think it has an opportunity to have a little more of a move up. But you would have to be trading off of Bitcoin specifically, hoping that Bitcoin can stay above this on as far as a weekly chart, bounce, and then continue to move back up here before it eventually most likely falls back down to retest out the 4-to-1 gain friend line, and then breaking back down below this 2-to-1 gain friend level as well. But what the company does, it looks like they have a good utility, which makes me believe that this would be good for a long-term hold. Now, I would have to do my own research on this and go a little bit more in depth, but I think overall it would be a good investment from what I saw, within a couple minute check. Alrighty. Hey, day trading. Um, what's right here? And hey, Michael. Mike? What happens if you adjust the leverage up or down in the middle of the trade? Um, it'll just up your exposure. So it'll add a fee for doing so, not more than you would have paid, but just like if you just made that original trade. Um, how do I say it? It just kind of changes the trade. So um, if you're up by 50% and you go from let's say you have a 1x leverage and you go from 1 to 10x percent, right? 1 to 10x leverage. If you have 10% profit, it's not going to multiply your profit by 10x, right? It's going to lower it substantially because it's taking on the extra leverage. And then from there on out, all of the profit you make will be at a 10x leverage profit, if that makes sense. So you should be able to keep some of the gains you had before or the losses that you had before as well. But going forward on that trade, that's what's really going to change what's going on there. I normally don't change leverage in the middle of the trade. I don't like doing that. It doesn't work with my record keeping strategy, if that makes sense. But yeah, I don't like doing it. But yeah, it doesn't change much. It just changes the leverage in the middle of the trade, and it opens you up to more risk, but also more profit opportunities there as well. And hey, Kenny G, dollar cost average from here. Yeah, right now is a good opportunity. What I like to do is I like to buy a little bit of crypto every day of the coins that I've been looking at over for the past few months and keeping track of, like the STMXs, the FTMs, the Solanas, the Manas, stuff like that. Assuming not Solana, Sol's having issues. The Sands. That's what I like to do. But in more of a grand scale thing, remember my big level of my golden zone, as I put it right now. Jeez. Has been the last two real bad bear markets we had, where we broke down below the 20-month moving averages, and on top of that, we managed to have death crosses with the 20 and 50-week moving averages, like this, right? Somebody rang the doorbell, but I'll be fine. Below the 200 exponential moving average, but above the 200 weekly moving average is normally a really good opportunity to start buying up as many of the coins you want to. Same here. Now, sometimes you have only a little bit of time to buy. Sometimes you have months to buy, right? But we never know exactly how much time we're going to be given. So what I do is I also buy a little bit every single day that we're down below this pink line right here. Every day we're down below. This is a weekly chart, so let me show you like this. Every day we're down below it, I'm buying a little bit of crypto. Now, not as much crypto as I'm buying down here, of course, but I am buying and I am exposing myself to the market, going more risk on in a risk off environment. And then once you break out above it, tend to be okay. Once you break out above it, tends to be okay overall. But I never know exactly how much time we have down here. And when you think about it in hindsight, I'm still making 146% profit on the small buys I had right here. But the big money I spend down here, I'm making like 200%, maybe even as far as 257%, something like that. Because you never know exactly where the bottom's going to go. And especially this year, since the economy's really, really bad, and on top of that, Bitcoin's never been in a recession, in my mind, I'm worried that we may see a breakdown where the 20-week moving average actually comes down below the 200-week moving average. Now, that wouldn't happen for months, but it's just something in the back of my head, and I've been more inclined to share with you guys the kind of random stuff going on in the back of my head as far as charts is concerned, just so you guys can see what I think is happening, or things I think could happen in the future, or things that I am making sure I keep in the back of my head just in case they become more likely in the future. I have some type of plan. I'm not going there all willy-nilly, like what's going on here. And you can even see right now, we have the 20-week moving average about to cross down below the 100-week moving average either this week or next week, or either this Sunday or next Sunday. And the last time that happened was right here after a really nasty move. We already had a nasty move and now it's happening, so hopefully that's not going to have too bad of an effect. But it happened right here. Let me see if I can draw a line here. Where's my vertical line? Right at the bottom of the market, ironically, in this sector here. Now, over here, it also happened back, and we ended up going down even further during this market. So I'm not saying it like we've reached the bottom or anything like that. But, it's just another little thing to be aware of, that things aren't looking so hot. My big concern is I just really want to see that the 20-week moving average doesn't come down below. It comes down pretty close each and every time. 2014, 2015, it was really, really close to the 200 weekly moving average. 2018 came really, really close to breaking down below the 200 moving average, but we bounced up before then. Over here during COVID, didn't really ever come too close because it was such a V-shaped recovery here. But this time, it's more of a slow grind. And I'm wondering what happens if the 50 crosses down below the 100 here. That hasn't happened for a while since, 2019? And then before that, it happened over here in 2015. So I'm just giving Bitcoin some time. Overall, we're still very, very bearish. I know I don't think I'm going against the grain so much anymore. I know a couple of months ago when I was being bearish, I was going against the grain as far as what people on YouTube and other places are saying. But I think right now, guys, I think most people are kind of bearish. Not everybody. There's still like a good segment of people that are saying buy now, this is the bottom. But I think the majority of people have kind of moved over to the bearish sentimentality of how bad things are going. From a practical standpoint, I've been using the economy as my kind of indicator, plus some of those technicals we talked about. But I think other people have other technicals as well, which are probably maybe better than mine. I'm not entirely sure. No, I don't know, probably not. But still, I want to give them some benefit for moving over there. Because who knows how many people longed here on this level of support. This level of support right here. Remember, I was saying I don't like using bodies because bodies of candles suck. I remember there was who was it? Crypto Rover longed like $700,000 worth of Bitcoin, and then it just crashed. I felt bad for him on that one. Kinda. He made people lose money, so I don't feel too bad. But yeah, he has started a Telegram group, and I was like, oh geez. I think I showed you guys that the other day. Yeah, but right now, guys, let's just focus on that 200 weekly EMA. I'll be really happy about that. And something that we haven't actually looked at for a while, I just popped into my head. Tutorials for channel, is that it? Yeah, okay. We haven't looked at the Is this it? I think this is it. Hold on a second here. Tima, yeah. EMA, DEMA. Okay, sweet. Okay, so we don't have to look at the regular moving averages today since we just looked at them for a while. Well, let's go over the EMA, the DEMA, and the TEMA averages because I don't think anybody really talks about these, and they're not. I mean, they're important, but they're not so important. So here's the EMAs, the 200, the 100, the 20, and the 50. Except for is the 100 is okay. It's all EMAs. So these are all exponential moving averages. We're bouncing off of it right now. Looks fine. We just had a death cross here a few weeks ago from the 20 week to the 50 week, leading to a big crash that we just saw. Now we're looking at the 20 week crossing down below the 100 week a little bit later, probably than the SMAs once, which is kind of interesting. But again, nothing really big has happened historically after that moment in time when we break down below the 100 on this one either. Okay, nothing really bad historically has happened. Now, about a month from now, maybe a month and a half, we may have the 50 crossing down below the 100 EMA. Let's just kind of take a little bit of a peek. Not much has happened there. Not much has happened there at all. So that's kind of good. So the EMAs are not really too much of my concern. I am just more concerned that in the future, we may see a death cross where the 100 crosses down below the 100, but that's not going to happen for a few months at least. So I'm not too concerned. And again, just like with this SMAs and the simple moving averages, it doesn't happen. Does not happen. We come close, but it seems to not happen too much. And then let's take a quick look over here at the DEMAs, double exponential moving averages. But before that, take a sip of water. I know I live in the Pacific Northwest, but man, it's pouring, raining this late into the spring, or this, yeah, this it is late into spring, yeah. Kind of crazy. Uh, But according to this one, we have a death cross coming with the 50 and the 200. That's pretty interesting to see. I wonder if that would actually make a pretty bad move. Historically, the DEMAs aren't the craziest thing. See, death cross there, it happened after the big move. Death cross here happened after the big move. So I'm not too concerned about it. But what I'm normally looking for is a little bit of a cluster. And I think we're not going to have a cluster on this one for a while. More likely going to have something as far as the TEMA. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But one thing here, actually. Let's hop on over to the daily charts. We are close to, I saw this before I started the stream today, we are close to having a golden cross here, and we haven't had a golden cross on the DEMAs since February 4th, and that happened after a little bit of a pop. So I was thinking that, hey, since the NASDAQ has been kind of moving up here a little bit more, maybe we'd have an opportunity to really continue this pop off here. But at this point in time, the problem with that is that, well, this is the Bitcoin US dollar, so it's not going to work out the way I want it to, because you see we're breaking down below it right now. But according to the Bitcoin USTD chart, we're still actually well above this trend line here. So I'm hopeful that we can just consolidate for a while, and then maybe whales can come in here. Maybe we have a double bottom or something like that. Not likely at this point in time, but there is always an opportunity that whales can come in here. You're just not going to be betting on it. You're just going to have a plan in case it does happen, okay? And right there, let's get rid of this one here. All right, and now I'll move over to the TEMAs very fast. And the TEMA is just the triple exponential moving average. Nobody ever needs to know what this is, but it's just, what do you call it? It's always an annoyance. And then after this, hey, Abraham, I'll give you my thoughts on Nugget, yes. So let me go back over here to the daily. There you go. We're starting to see almost a cluster again here, guys. If we stay around this zone for the next week or so, it doesn't look like it, as like I said. But if we get close to the zone pretty soon, we have an opportunity to get the 50 up a little bit, the 200 down here a little bit, and then when we have a cluster of the moving averages here, we tend to have a big move, a cluster, a big move, a cluster, a larger move, a cluster, a larger move right there. You want to pair this with other technicals, of course. Cluster, there was a move, cluster, and you saw everything just kind of go really bad. So I'm looking for a cluster here, and I'm either wondering, are we going to stay in the middle, and then the 50 comes up here, and the 200 comes down, or are we going to come down really fast, cause the 20 to come down really fast into the team? It'll have a lot of weight coming from the most recent days. The 200 come down, and then sometime next week, oh yeah, next week could be a really bad one if we're going off of this strategy. Not bad, but volatile. This doesn't predict which way we're going. It's just kind of run a bear market, so you would assume in a bad way. A wrong way. But yeah, what can I see this coming down to? TEMA, if we drop back down to the mid 28,000 or so, 7th, 8th, I would say before the 14th, before the halfway point of the month, we're either going to have a nice rebound moment for crypto that really surprises a lot of people, or more predictably, we'll just have another crash heading back down to the 26,000, maybe just down, maybe just as low as 27,000. But we are going to be looking at a pretty sizable move here soon. I thought we might have a little bit more of a stronger move to the upside, but it seems like the Ganfin levels really took us out of that chance here. I don't even know if I have one of the Ganfin levels open for you guys here. Main Bitcoin GANs, no, I just want GAN. There we go. It's like the resistance levels we had here. We managed to break up for a second, but we just got knocked back down, and then we got close enough over here, also got knocked back down. You can imagine this pink line just being like right up here, not tapping it, but just kind of like right above it right there. And that was another level of resistance. We got through the first level, second level just kicked us back down. But overall, higher lows, guys. That's what I'm looking at right now. Higher lows. What the heck of a is that? There we go. Low, a higher low, and then can we make another higher low over here with a question mark? That's really the question I want to see answered over the next week or two, next few days. Because right now we're just bearish. You can see we're just trickling down. You can see Sol is down 3%. I should probably short Sol. I want them to have another server outage again. Because Sol could end up being another Luna here if they don't get their act together. People could really just have so much fun. They're like, I'm selling everything. Because remember, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have a lot of money invested in a whole bunch of random altcoins, and they never thought those altcoins, if they have like tens of billions of dollars market cap, they never thought that it would actually go to zero. And because the way Luna kind of just went down in flames, in glorious flames, if you will, because there was so much money made shorting it down, you have to admit that there's going to be people looking at now like, whoa, now my coin might not be as safe. Now my coin is having problems. Maybe it's best if I just sell some of it off to protect myself, because if I don't, I could lose everything. And, I think it's pretty stupid to have everything in crypto, like I say, but people do it because they want to, the go big or go home mentality. But, just imagine it. People would have that type of experience if you ask me. All right. Now, you were talking about Nugget here. Let me get out of this one. We don't need to talk about Ganfin levels for a minute here. NUGT, Nugget miners. There we go. This is a weekly chart. Man, has this had splits or something? Let me see. Let me get the algorithm. Has it had a split? Yeah, there's a split. Oh my gosh, so many splits. So as far as Nugget's concerned, I don't know if you mean the Nugget stock or the Nugget crypto. Let me see if there's a crypto Nugget too. No, NUGT, Abraham. No, okay. So as far as the stock, I'd be very, very careful. This thing has had so many splits because all it does is keep on heading to zero to zero to zero over and over and over again. If you bought this right when it opened up or about, you'd currently be down about 99.93%. So I'd be very, very careful about this. This company will probably most likely go... oh no, this is Index Bull X2 shares. My bad. Totally wrong about this. But it just keeps on going down. Wow, really? This one keeps going down. I thought it'd be the opposite for the shorts. Not the bear? Yeah, wow, okay. Gold miners. So you're basically expecting the market to have a really bad move down here pretty soon, but even that, I wouldn't be playing that too much, because it's not tied directly to gold like you would think, because gold should be going up when the market's going down, but this kind of followed the market exactly. Maybe moving a little bit down here. From a technical aspect, let me see what I can give you here. This one's going to be a little bit more interesting. Did it even follow the technicals? No. Little bit. No. On the weekly, did it follow the technicals? No. All right. Yeah, this one's going to be a little bit more of an annoyance here, because it looks like this thing's been good for just breaking down. If you can find a breakdown here, it seems like that's the best opportunity you're going to have to short. I mean, look at these breakdowns. Short, awesome. Short, awesome. Right? What I'd be looking to do for here is probably just look for a large-scale short or a large-scale long here, and that might be it for these types of plays, because I'm looking at this. It looks fine, but if you can just wait for a breakout to present itself, pop, you buy, you're going to be just fine. If, like I said, you look for a short, you're going to be just fine. But right now, you can see it's running into this old resistance level right here. And maybe if it manages to pop back above that, you might be okay. But what I'd be hoping for this one particularly is that it would actually rally back up here. I wouldn't buy it, consolidate a little bit more, and then right when it's around here, then I could draw a trend line like this, and if it breaks out right there, then I could buy for some profit. But as far as I'm seeing from this one right now, it's not honoring the technicals that you would really like to see, like Fibonacci levels. Let me do a quick check over here and go to the weekly chart one more time. Looking at here, trend-based fibs. And it's not honoring the fib traces as well. Let me see if it honored anything like this as well. I know it's a 2x thing, so that's what's really messing it up here. But hit the one price target fine. Got resistance there. So it got a little bit better as we moved along, but still, yeah. I would say I would like to trade this on a grand scale, and then I'd probably buy options if they're allowed on the 2x shares bull market here. Because I think if you want to see a big move and maximize your profit, because you're not going to be holding this for long, obviously, because the longer you hold it, the more it comes down. What I'd really be looking for is a longer-term breakout or a longer-term breakdown. And it looks like it's easy money when it breaks out, really easy money. It just looks like it takes some time in between some of those larger moves. So if you bought the breakout here to here, right, the week it broke down, you might have had to wait a little bit of time. But if you opened up a short and you just kind of chilled out and waited, watched the bad news in the market, you'd be up like 34% in just a few months. That's not bad for stocks if you know 2x too. And then when you broke down below this one right here, another good shorting opportunity right there. Boom, came back up a little bit, but ultimately came back down again. I like this for larger moves, but as far as anything short term, Abraham, I'm more cautious about it, just because it's not honoring the technicals that I would like it to honor. Not even the 1x shares, right? Just the normal the normal miners. They haven't been performing too well, in my opinion here. I'd rather just buy gold itself as the commodity. Ooh, Bitcoin took a little bit of a tumble here while we were talking. Well, let's go Bitcoin. Let's see if she can hold it. All right, there we go. And hey, D's, the more Bitcoin and Doge going down, the more I buy. That's how the perception is for a lot of people. As long as you guys have money to cover that and you guys have your own strategy worked out, buy as much crypto as you want. My only point was, I know you're not talking about it, but what I'm talking about here. But my only point is don't put a second mortgage on your house to buy crypto at these levels. Don't do it. That's the type of stuff I want you guys to be not be concerned about. And what do you see possibly pumping for a small long scalper on London time? What do you see possibly pumping? If we pump it all tonight, it's going to be because we're bouncing off of this Fibonacci level right here. This is an hour chart. If we pump it all, you guys want to buy as close to this white line as possible. That way you guys only have to have maybe a 1 to 2% stop loss. What we talked about a few days ago here, I know this is a 1 hour chart, but I told you guys it'd be okay to buy right here. And on the other chart, something similar as well, kind of right here. Can I show you guys the other chart? Can I? This one's the USD. Yeah, okay. Now, I know we're already breaking down below this one right here, but it's a little awkward. But I told you guys it'd be okay to buy it right around here, specifically because we're so close to this trend line that if you guys want to be using it for a stop loss, you guys are only going to be risking losing 1.38%, 1.5%, or if you wanted to get a little bit more aggressive, down here to 2% if we came back down to $29,000, right? And what that does is it allows you to it gives you an opportunity to make more capital with only a small stop loss. Because if we manage to break down below this, it's usually not going to be a good sign going forward. Now, we didn't really have the major crash afterwards because it looks like this trend line isn't as useful, the Bitcoin US dollar. It seems like the Bitcoin tether chart like this one seems to be more realistic at this point in time. But still, you had an opportunity to buy around here. If you had like a 10x leverage, which is kind of standard, or maybe just a 5x leverage, you kind of bought around that little bit of a dip. You kind of sold, I don't know, just a few hours later, less than a day later, you up like 2.5%. 2.5% times 5, it's not bad. You've made a little bit of profit for the day, and you can just kind of move along to the next big trade. That's what I'd be looking for there. Unfortunately, the market kind of tanked, and then the rest is history, so to speak. But if I wanted to buy some crypto today for a long, I really want to be buying down here. But then at the same time, I'm going to be concerned because we'd be breaking down below this Fibonacci level. So we would have to hope that we come down here, consolidate, and then some type of whale pump would go boost like that, and then I would start scaling out at some appropriate levels. Kind of like it came over here, we kind of tapped around, and then all of a sudden we were just creeping along, and a whale kind of popped us up all of a sudden. I probably wouldn't even wait for us to get back up to these levels. I'd be happy to sell here and take my profit, but I'd be trading with a 10x leverage if I'm buying right here. So if I'm trading with a 10x leverage and we come back down to this white line or this trend line here, well, let's say I want to buy somewhere around here around 29,156, and I have a stop loss of like 1% or so. That means I'm really risking 10% to make more than 10% if we have managed to have a bounce. But that's me at 10%. You guys may like to do 2% leverage, 5x leverage, whatever it may be. But I'm really using these trend lines here as my level of support and my stop losses going forward. Because right now I'm looking at it, and Bitcoin is still getting pushed down right here. Unfortunately, we have a little bit of support. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. A little bit of support right now, but not really much here. Let me see. What is the line that's we're trying to hold right here? Let's do a magnet right here. And let's go to the second chart. You can see there's a flat out wall here. Somebody is trying to stop us from falling down below this. If they have enough buying power, we should shoot up pretty soon. If they don't, we'll have a little bit of more of a jolt coming down. So there's a little bit of a pop right there. The buyer kind of had enough money. The sellers didn't have enough ammo. The sellers may re-up and try to attack again. Very common. We're just talking about a second chart. A lot of stuff can happen. But you can definitely see there's more selling going on right now, even after a little bit of a pump, than there is buying. Okay. So let's give it a few minutes and let's see what happens there. There's another little pop right there. Little buyers everywhere. Little buyers everywhere. All right. Sorry about that. Let me see what I can do here. And hey, Brightest, nobody's coming to the rescue. And the medium term and long term, yes, nobody's coming to the rescue. We're going to have to go through this cycle, and it's going to be painful. In the short term, a whale could always come in here. Happened a few days ago. People made some money. But we're not talking about holding for weeks here, guys. I know Brightest is alluding to this. We're just talking about holding for hours, not even days. Unless you guys want to get more risky. But be careful. The NASDAQ could slam us down any day. Any freaking day. I was thinking of shorting Solana too. Also, a lot of bad news. Yeah, that's the main reason why shorting Luna was really profitable. I mean, extremely profitable for me. And I'd been talking about how shorting Luna. I had been telling you guys for a while how much I wanted to short Luna because it hadn't fallen down nearly as much as everything else while Bitcoin was crashing and burning practically. Luna was just kind of doing its own thing. And I was like, eventually Luna is going to have to catch up to how far Bitcoin's dropped. And it was doing that. But I opened up a short, but I didn't foresee this UST coordinated attack going after Luna and the stablecoin UST, and that's what really took all the profits to overdrive, that's what I was really happy about. Yeah, no worries, Strict Hydra. Do I have any live trading videos? I don't do live trading usually. My anxiety prohibits me from doing it. I do it every now and again, but usually when I'm doing it, it's usually options. For my members, I have options videos I've been doing more and more of. So I told them to buy 195 strike price options for Nvidia 3 days ago. And as of yesterday, today the price went back down. But we had the pump that we were looking for, and the options went up 100 and something, like 30 something percent or so. So I give you guys pretty good plays, but it's usually in video form. I'm not usually live trading. My live trades are nothing fancy. They're just simple technical breakdowns, or breakout. So a pattern, Fibonacci extension, Fibonacci retracement if I'm worrying about that, and then as soon as it breaks out, I'm in the trade for probably anywhere from 5 minutes to a couple hours, and that's about it. We have a pretty nice wall here on the $29,500 level, guys. It's pretty interesting to watch this play out. But yeah, I mean, the last time I really did some live trading with you guys, maybe a month ago, a little bit on crypto in the morning, but then I don't like doing that too much. And mostly nobody ever watches my live trading videos. I tried them once and didn't do anything. Like I got like five viewers watching me, just five. Um, but the last time I had a lot of people watching me and I did a good trade, I made like $1,500 in 7 minutes off of trading calls with GameStop when it was going off. That was really fun. But I normally don't do much live trading. I don't like live trading. I like teaching more. I have a friend who has a YouTube channel, Tom. He does live trading every now and again. He doesn't always make money live trading. He does it more for views and kind of like, getting views instead of like making money. But he thinks it's like worth it. But he's a really good guy. But he does live trading if you want to do that. Or I think Ghost. I don't. She hasn't been here in a minute. She's been on the other stream. They have. She knows a couple live streamers. I think for the stock market. I think there's a couple there. But as far as crypto, I don't live stream too much. I just do a whole bunch of random buy-ins and buyouts and stuff like that. Or I'll tell you guys, hey, I'm longing here and I'm hoping to get to this price target blank, right? Jeez. Look at this wall. All right. I do have lots of tutorials though. That's what I have. Lots of tutorials. I'm working on a tutorial right now. And hey, Pavon, wow, it's a lot nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm an options trader that moved over to crypto because I like trading crypto, and I think it's easier for me to teach you guys how to trade crypto primarily because there's no pattern day trade warnings, and since there's no pattern day trade warnings or no pattern day trade rules, that allows you guys to be more confident in your trading ability. You guys don't feel that extra pressure to actually buy and sell at a specific time. It's nice to get out of your position when you want to and not have to be worried about being banned from trading stocks or options for like 90 days because you made one too many trades. It's a really stupid rule, like a really, really stupid rule. It's there to protect you guys, like you guys don't know what you're doing. Uh-oh, we just had new 15 minutes, new 15-minute chart. If they're going to push it down, it's going to be now. Let's give it a second here, guys. Usually we have stronger moves at the end of every 15-minute cycle, which is why I normally tell you guys to use the 15-minute chart. For those of you guys that haven't heard me say that before. Dude, there's a wall here. It's a pretty nice wall. They're selling and selling and selling, and somebody keeps on buying it up. Let's see right here. Yep, still getting popped up here. There's still buyers, and that's nice to see. There you go. A little bit of a move. We'll have to see if it comes back down here in a little bit. Let me see right here as well. Yeah, no worries, Abraham. Sorry I missed your thing. And hey, Dog Inu, the real dump is coming. Barry, yeah. I mean, it's coming eventually. We just don't know exactly when it's going to happen. That's why I tell you guys, if you guys do want to get into the markets here, the safe thing normally to what most people do is they just open up a short and they just sit on it for a while, and eventually it's going to pay you out money. But, depending on if we break down or not, you might have to wait a few days for it to make money. You might have to wait a week or so to make money if we bounce off of the support instead of just like, flat out crash like we want to have. And hey, can I explain the trend lines I use? Yeah, so for me, trend lines, they're very, very simple. I try not to make them too complicated. The best way I can show you my trend lines is to show you the patterns and how I actually use them. So what this is an old thumbnail I was telling you guys about. Pretty much whenever Dogecoin goes up, it pops, it comes back down. So I want to let you guys know that, but I told you guys that a while ago. Let me go over here to desktop, YouTube files, patterns, all patterns. That work out? Ah, perfect. Okay. So whenever I'm drawing trend lines on a chart, usually I'm trying to make them look like one of these 20 patterns. Maybe some more patterns than this, but what do you call this is usually the patterns I'm trying to work out, like a head and shoulders, a descending triangle, a flag, whatever it may be. That's usually what I'm looking for. You can see this. There's a flag right here. I'll kind of blow it up for you guys. Right, a flag continuation bearish variant. That's the flag right there. All right. That's let me close this off right here. And then as I use this in real time in real life, let's just go back. No, we don't need to look at the team that's here anymore. We don't need to use this one anymore. I can go over here to the weekly chart for Bitcoin. Now you can see the flag. bearish continuation. We consolidated for a little bit of time and then came back down. That's usually the stuff I'm trying to make. And then when we eventually break down below it, wow, look at that great shorting opportunity. Boom, 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 profit, profit, profit. Or, similarly, but it's not always that easy, I guess you would say. So before we actually had this little bit of a pop, I thought we were more in a, what's that pattern? Oh my gosh, can't believe I'm forgetting it. Ascending triangle, where we had a level of resistance right here. Resistance, and where eventually we were going to consolidate, not break out above this, and then come down. But they use this as a fake out to try to get people to buy, and then we just plummeted back down, just like what they did over here after. This is a different. That's fine. What's fine? This is a Bitcoin US dollar chart. It's not the one we normally use. Forget this little wick here. Normally it's not there on the other charts. We broke out above this triangle right here, this little bit of a pennant, or you could even call this a flag if you wanted to. Probably not best to call it a flag. Falling wedge, excuse me. We were supposed to break out of that, move up, and then guess what? We'd moved up, but then we just got blooped, tanked, right? So it's not always easy, but normally all the trend lines that I usually go off of wicks and not bodies of candles. I talked about bodies of candles very specifically over the past during this time frame because I don't trust them. I don't like using them because they're not when you come down below them, you're not really breaking down. They can come back up. It's not an easy short. The easy short comes usually when you go off of wicks. Now, there's a reason you might be using bodies for maybe other technicals, maybe some Fibonacci levels if you want to use them. But traditionally, the big moves for me have tended to come when I trade options or crypto after we break down below the trend line when you have using the wicks as those points of contact to make that trend line go, right? But yeah, that's kind of like how I use trend lines. I'm always just trying to make some type of pattern that I can try to trade the breakout of it. No, we came back down a little bit. Yeah, man, we had this big pop here a few seconds ago, and then all of a sudden we just, no, this is the same thing, yeah. We had that big pop and we just came back down. There you go. Maybe we have an opportunity to stay above that level. We're really trying to hold it. I don't know why we're trying to hold it so much. I don't think we will, but good for the whoever's buying right now. And hey, you're watching CPI tomorrow. Wait, isn't tomorrow Saturday? Doesn't that come out on a weekday or something like that? Hold on. Was it May? Reference month? No, release date. It is May, isn't it? May 11th. It should come out May 11th, I think. Is it May? Gosh, I'm just so all over the place this month. It's June. Oh my God. June 10th. June 10th. 8:30 a.m. for May last month. Okay, I think that's when this one comes out for Consumer Price Index. There might be some other numbers coming out because there was a little bit of extra information coming out last week as well. So I'm pretty sure there might be something coming out from the government tomorrow as well. That might be interesting. I have to look that one up. Oh, we're back down to it. Nobody is buying Bitcoin right now. If you guys want to support these buyers here that want to keep 29,500 alive, go for it. But man, it just seems so risky at this point in time. There you go. Man, it is pouring down outside. Raining cats and dogs, so to speak. And hey, Michael, Sol is breaking down. Yeah, I'm watching on the side of my screen here. Here's Sol in the 5-minute or 15-minute. Just tanked right there. And this one is actually broken down lower than what we had just May 11th. We're already coming down more than before, so this one's going to be pretty interesting. If Bitcoin can hold it, it'd be good, but if not, Sol can be coming all the way back down here to the mid-20s level, guys, so be careful with it. I want to short Sol, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to be chasing it right now. I might just wait for Bitcoin to break down below, not this line, but the official trend line we've been looking at as far as Bitcoin to the US to Tether. So if we break down below that, I'll probably end up buying or opening up some short positions to help me out with as far as some of these plays. I haven't been trading as much as I want to over the past few days, though. Since since my car's been in the shop, I've been just spending as much time outside because I've been getting stir crazy by working, trading, YouTube. And then I've been watching a whole bunch of movies. and playing a bunch of video games, way more video games than I've ever played before, but it's been pretty fun. But yeah, you can see Sol's definitely taking some pain. While Bitcoin's only down about 0.6%, Doge is only down about 0.7%, Ethereum's only down about 1.2%, or maybe even ADA is only down 2% because ADA had a big run up over the past week. Sol's down about 6% right now, and it's just not looking too good. But worth shorting if you ask me. Just got to wait for a pop before you want to short that sucker down, though. There we go. There we are. Okay. And hey, dog, you know what short or long you just buy? There's no reason for to. It's okay just to buy long and go long term. Hey, boy, what you doing? Dog's over here saying hello. Looking to buy WTI stock next Monday. What's a good entry? Hey, Corinda, WTI. You said WTI. Is it West Texas Intermediate Crude Oil Cash, or is it W&T Offshore Inc.? Let me know which one of those are, and I'll be happy to look them up for you very fast. But right now, I have no idea, and when I don't know, I don't want to go and do the wrong technicals. I've done that way too many times. Hey, boy, come over here. Yeah, what you want to do? Yeah. Loki's being a big boy right now. He wants to go play in the rain because he can hear it. Yeah. Come here. Yeah. There. He wants to say hello. Oh, yeah. Yeah. My beard doesn't taste like anything. Yeah, you're gonna look at them? Yeah. You can look at them. Oh. Yep. Yeah. Oh, your breath. Your breath smells like fish. Did you get any fish today? You steal from the cat? Probably stole from the cat. You steal some tuna? Yeah. Yeah. There you go. He really wants to be spoiled right now, but I don't have his treats. His treats are on the sofa. I'll get him after the stream. There we go. WT offshore. Okay, thank you, Corinda. I'll look it up now. Oh wait, hold on. Give me 1 second. We're back down here to the $29,500 level. I mean, if we drop, we drop. Well, if they want to push us down, they should probably push us down in the next 3 minutes because that's when the 15-minute candle ends. So let me, dude, what are you doing? He's blocking my hand, so I can't use it. WTI offshore is what you said. Offshore, yeah. Week to week, it's been doing okay. Oil went up a little bit today, which is probably the reason this was going up. My only concern for this one, let's go to the daily chart here, is that if Biden does go to the Middle East and he does work out some type of deal to really get them to ramp up their oil production a lot, you will see oil prices come back down, and this will hit this particular stock quite a bit here, all oil stocks quite a bit. What I'm looking for as far as this one is concerned, and thank you, Biden, for I really do appreciate the super chat. I really do appreciate the super chat. What I'd be looking right here, guys, is let me drag this over just a little bit. There we go. It already hit the price target of 1 and got rejected. I'd be looking for this to hit up to $9, and that's a really big kind of push because it's already up 8%. That's what my price target would be, but I might try to look for a dip on Monday if possible. Maybe by then the price of oil will come down a little bit, and that may be a better entry point. But I'd be very, very careful about how long you want to be holding this one, just because there is that possibility that Biden will travel to Saudi Arabia. Now, it seems like Saudi Arabia has no respect for President Biden. He's tried to call them a few times, and they just pretty much hang up the phone on his face, like audacious, like wow. But there is that chance that Biden does go to Saudi Arabia. Let me see. Biden, Saudi Arabia. Yeah. New York Times here. Biden to travel to Saudi Arabia, ending its pariah status. As a Kennedy, So he said he was going to punish them, but then the reality of governing hit, and he's like, wow, I need these people to pump more oil. Here's another one from The Guardian. Biden to visit Saudi Arabia and push to lower oil prices and punish Russia. Right? That's what he's going to try to do. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, But that's what if you're hopping into that stock, that's the real concern. I would try to see if you can get it back down here. If it comes back down to $7 and like under sub 750, that's why I'd prefer to buy it. But if you want to catch the wave, go for it. You're just going to have to keep track of not just the price of this particular stock, because you can see day by day it's continuing to grind up. You're going to have to be watching the oil prices, and you're going to have to be watching some of the news here going on. Because if the news says, oh, Biden has struck a deal with the Saudis and everything's going well, you will see this tank all the way back down here towards like $6 to maybe $5 over the next couple of weeks if oil prices really do start to come down really, really fast. Again, I don't think a deal is likely, unless he were to give out some major concessions. And I mean, he would have to we probably wouldn't know what they would be in the short term because, politics and stuff like that, because his base is still mad at the Saudi prince from killing the Khashoggi journalist, I think it was. And Biden said he was going to be very tough on the Saudis, and if it comes out that he was very pro-Saudi in the negotiations, it may hurt his election chances, because we know it's all about politics these days. But yeah, that would be my only concern about this. But I'd try to find it. I would try to see if I can get it under sub 50 if possible, and then try to ride it back up here towards the next level, about $9.18. Or if you wanted to get a little bit more, is there another pivot point? All right, okay, here's a pivot point down here. Maybe you can do this right here. We had some hiccup right there. We hit the resistance right there. Maybe around 884 if you wanted to do that as well. That seems to be another pivot point that might be worth it. So kind of around $8.50, kind of sell there to $9.11. I'd kind of spread it all even a little bit more because I'm a little more cautious there. That'd be my goal on that particular stock. Just be careful, because it's not as easy as just looking at the oil prices anymore. You have to be watching out for any news that comes out with Biden meeting with the Saudi Arabian prince, because that's going to be trouble whichever way it goes. If he gets rejected, oil prices will go up. If he gets accepted, oil prices will go down. But it's a huge risk, because if things get worse, people are going to blame him for higher gas prices, because he does have an effect on them, whether he likes to admit it or not, unfortunately. And no worries, Corinda. And thank you again, Biden, for that. I really do appreciate it. And hey, Vincent Treat, thank you very much for subscribing as well, my man. And what's right here? Doggy gave us some sippy pips. Yeah, there we go. And been watching those. Okay, yeah, definitely keep an eye on the news. I haven't been keeping track too much of Biden and Saudi Arabia, but I do know Saudi Arabia said they were going to pump more oil. But I mean, here, we can use WTI's thing right here. U.S. oil. We had a dip for a little bit of time, but now we're just in full-on surge mode here, guys. And we'll have to see how bad everything gets. Here's the 15-minute chart. You can see we've actually stopped now because, the end of the week. But when things pick up, we got to hope that we start off the week looking down, for if you want cheaper gas. But most likely, if we don't have a deal, you're going to see us pop back up to maybe 124, maybe 125. It could be really bad, depending on how the meeting goes. We got to hope that the president does a good job. I want him to do a good job. He just hasn't been doing a good job as far as inflation and stuff so far. Inflation sucks. When inflation is high, my mom can't afford all the stuff she likes. My sister can't afford all the stuff she likes. So I help them pay for their goods and stuff, because the market is pretty much like a free piggy bank for me at this point. But I know a lot of people don't have a friend or somebody that can give them money, or a family that can give them money. So, for the economy, you want gas prices to come back down. So does Biden. But policy-wise, they're not really doing anything to really stop it from going up. So we'll have to see. The way it's going right now, though, Corinda, it's working in your favor. The fact that nobody has control of the gas prices right now, nobody's listening to Biden to try to do some stuff, it is hurting the economy a little bit, and it is helping out the oil stocks in general move up even higher. Because look at this monthly chart for oil. Ooh, look at that. We haven't been this high since the 2008 financial crisis. That's not good. If I remember, there were a lot of mad people during that period in time. And it looks like we're probably going to go much higher than that. I know economists said by August we could be looking at $160 a barrel. We're only at $120 right now. That means we would have to jump up another 35% for gas. So that means, well, we talked about that before. Depending on where you guys are at, the average gas price around the country would be around $6-7. Now, over here in Washington State, that means I'd be paying like $10. In California, that means they might be paying up to $12. Just imagine trying to get your kid to school or go to the grocery store or go do anything fun when you're paying like $10-12 for gas, or even if you're in the middle America, we have better refineries and stuff like that, just paying like $6 a gallon for gas. It's gonna freaking hurt. Are you going to go on that vacation? Are you going to be able to afford all those crazy high plane ticket prices that are going to go up like skyrocket up because of that? Are you going to be able to afford all those goods that all of a sudden get more expensive because the truckers have to charge more for the loads to go across country? It's a really bad thing, and I am not an economist. I don't know how they're going to be able to fix this, but right now it just does not look good. It looks like this is a monthly chart, of course, again, guys. We just started a new month. It looks like pretty soon we're looking to have a pretty sizable surge here. The resistance that we might have, and there's not really much resistance when you're talking about commodities now, the resistance level that I'd be looking at is the high from just 3 months ago, the month of March, and that'd be the high of $129.42. We're currently at $120.34, so about $8 away from it right now, $8-9 away from it. We'll have to see how much more we can go up, but guys, this is nothing too good about this, if you ask me. And guys, we managed to hold it still. There was a nice little wall at 29,500. We're not falling down below it just yet here, not yet. See how it kind of pumped up after we weren't able to break down below it on the 50-minute chart. Nice little pump. That's usually when you want to buy it right after that happens. All right. And hey, Turtle, I haven't checked ICP lately. It must be negative something by now. No, ICP's still been coming down gracefully. It's not at the all-time lows there like it was a few days ago. ICP is fantastic. If you buy ICP when Bitcoin is like crashing and you've kind of timed the bottom appropriately, you can make some fantastic, and I mean absolutely fantastic profits with ICP. I do it quite a bit with trading with leverage, and I try to do it with 10x leverage. If I'm feeling extra risky and I have a lot of capital kind of on the sidelines to kind of cover the margin, I will try to do 50x leverage plays once the price starts coming back up, and I'll show you what I mean here. So if we go over here, and let's just go to my YouTube watch list, and let's go over here to ICP. TradingView messed up my, what do you call this again? It messed up all the order of everything. I had to scramble to put it back together before the stream started. But here's the daily chart for ICP. Abysmal, miserable, nasty, bad, ugly, yuck, whatever. This is ICP now. But when you time ICP's bottom, like this, if you, let's just say you bought the halfway point, not even all the way to the bottom, just the halfway point here, you could have made about 60% profit in less than 24 hours. It's fantastic, the swings this thing has been having lately. You buy down here, that's 40% profits. Usually when it pumps, it's usually a great opportunity to short if you guys didn't want to do that as well. Pump, you short it, you might have to wait a little bit of time and be in some pain for a while. It normally works out pretty well. Short, pain, a little bit of pain, works out. Short, pain, short, a little bit of pain, it worked out, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer, so you don't want to short here and wait through all that crap. But next time this hits all-time lows, whenever it does, I encourage you guys to, maybe if you guys aren't confident enough to trade it yourself, at least try paper trading this and go long and just letting the money kind of sit. Let it go negative for a while, because eventually when it does pop back up, it does give you a lot of money after having those big all-time lows. And again, all-time low right here, you buy at the halfway point down there, 20%. All-time low right here, popped up 30%. All-time low right here, not as graceful, of course, but up 18%. If you held longer and it didn't really go down below that, you had option maybe like 23%. All-time low right here, up about 65%. Or if you only wanted to hold for a couple days or so, maybe that would only be about 30%. But guys, 30% 10x leverage is 300%. All-time low over here, pop. All-time low over here, pop. Fantastic. ICP is fantastic. Now, it's not something right now you definitely want to be holding for a long term. Maybe it might have a recovery down the road, and I'd be hopeful for that, during the next bull cycle. But right now, when it pops, you can short that sucker and be happy to short it. But when it reaches that all-time low, guys, Just practice with it. Just practice. You don't got to put any money behind it. Just practice with it. In fact, I would say don't put any money behind it because I don't know you guys' trading strategies. But try it out and see if you like the way it turned out. And you might be willing to put some real capital behind it in the future because there's a good chance that we're going to see another all-time low consolidation, then another all-time low consolidation. You can kind of rinse and repeat those cycles there. And if you have another big pop, usually, just like Bitcoin, big pop leads to some pretty big dumps afterwards. But yeah. Juicy ICP. Nothing crazy happening with that one as of late. Uh, and hey, thanks, Karen. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big family guy. I'm moving to Nicaragua next year, and I have a big pot of money for my mom and sister to make sure they're all taken care of because my mom's on fixed income from the government because she had a stroke, and then my and disability, and my sister's going off to college, so I want her to have some fun. I went to college with no money, and I had to like have a job. I really don't want to have my sister to have a job in college. I really don't. If she has a job in college, it's going to help me with my YouTube channel and to teach her some skills and get her ready for the workforce and becoming more professional and stuff like that. Sure, but she doesn't need to be working. Like I worked at the place called the Bozeman Bowl. You guys know this? Bozeman Bowl, Bozeman Bowl in Montana. Oh, they would be closed this weekend. That was last weekend. Oh, Memorial Day. Yeah. I used to work here for $8 an hour. Those were the days where you would see drunk people sleeping on cars in the middle of nowhere in the parking lot. It was fun times. Now Bozeman's a little bit larger, but yeah. Hope nobody doesn't have to do that job. In France, fuel is €2 now. Oh, geez. Yeah. Europe doesn't have. Does Europe refine its own gas and stuff, or because I think Europe doesn't pump its own oil, it doesn't frack its own oil. I think they're more reliant on other countries, which is kind of bad in some respects, but it does keep their own territory kind of clean from an energy perspective. All the smog is going to coming from some other country most likely. I do think it's pretty interesting though. It's a weird type of thing to try to balance out, how much fracking you want to do to protect the environment versus how much energy your country actually needs, and the security risks that come with that, as you guys see with the Russia conflict. But every country makes its own decision. They rest in the bed, so to speak, but they seem to be doing okay so far. I don't know how much Europeans actually have to pay versus all that other stuff. And you can see Bitcoin having a pop. We did not break down below the $29,500 level right now, guys. We did not. That's kind of nice to see. And hey, SS, KDA update. Sure. Let me see if I can find out what that even is. I mean, I know it's crypto, but I haven't looked at it in a long time. This one looks worse than a lot of other stuff, so be careful with this one. This one's down about, 2.71% already today. What I'd be looking at here is, is it even holding up? Holding up. I wouldn't be touching this until it comes back down to maybe $1.63 or so. It might have an opportunity to bounce back up before the end of the day today, so as far as KDA is concerned, you have about 21 hours and 3 minutes left until this candle closes. If it can somehow manage to close back above this Fibonacci level, then I might take an opportunity to buy some, but then still using this Fibonacci level as a level of support here, or a level of for a stop loss. I don't want to take too much of a risk here as far as buying this one. I'd want to buy something that doesn't look like it wants to just come down a breakdown. If I'm trading this right now, I'm more inclined to just open up a short and try to short it back down all the way down here to 164 or so, which would be a massive drop from a percentage standpoint. And maybe if it comes into contact with this trend line right here, maybe right here around 178, maybe that's where I'd like to finish off the short, and I can make a profit of about with a 5% with a 10x leverage, 50% for maybe holding for maybe 1 to 3 days or so. I'd be fine with that right there. Otherwise, I'd be careful. This thing tried to break out there, got knocked back down. That's also a level of support. You might find some support right around here. Yeah, around the 180, maybe 179 level. I wouldn't be touching it really too much to go long until I see something more promising. This thing is already broken down below the lows we had over the past week, and it's not going to be too good for this if Bitcoin really does start to tank over the next few hours here, and it does eventually break down below this trend line right there. So just be careful with it at this point in time. Be very, very careful about it. And thanks, Crypto Vest. I appreciate that. My family's pretty chill. They do all their stuff. I do all my stuff. We kind of live in a harmony. But again, I'm moving to Nicaragua next year, so that'll be a fun time within and of itself. But okay, everybody, it's been a cool 2-hour stream. I'm going to hop off for the night. I'm going to, I don't know, watch some TV and go to sleep. I'm kind of beat. Tomorrow I'm taking Loki to the dog park at like 6 o'clock in the morning since I finally have my car back. But guys, we're still bearish overall. There's still an opportunity we can bounce. The closer you could buy Bitcoin to this line, then the less you're going to have to rely on that stop loss. You don't want to usually have more than a 3% stop loss on something like this right now. So if we come back below 29,250 or something like that, I might open up a long if I'm even awake, and then I'll try to see if I can do a bounce later on in the day. Maybe that's my goal. But really, guys, there's not too much profit to be made at this point in time. I'd be looking more for a swing to happen tomorrow, and I'd be looking forward to maybe a whale kind of pumping us up now that the NASDAQ or the stock market's closed, so we're not following the NASDAQ day by day, okay? But okay, buddy, have a great rest of your night, and I will see you guys Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. If we do have a major crash this weekend, I will be live, but there will be no set time.